A very warm welcome back to the channel from South America for several series of videos which will begin here in the beautiful country of Colombia. I'm in the nation's capital, Bogota, which at 8,600 feet elevation has the distinction of being the third highest capital city in the world. I arrived here 2 days ago, and it's been quite the adjustment, and I'm not only talking about the altitude. My suitcase did not arrive with me, but happily after 2 days, it was delivered this morning at my hotel in the historic Candelaria district, and so I'm a happy camper again. And I've got to say, if you're a traveler who hasn't been to Bogota, you really should put this place on your travel list. I'm here on the Plaza Bolivar, named of course in honor of the great South American liberator Simón Bolívar, whose statue is in the middle of this great plaza. Today, of course, it is a great gathering place surrounded on all sides by important institutions such as the National Capitol over my shoulder, where Colombia's legislature meets, the Palacio de Justicia just ahead of me, home to the country's Supreme Court, the Mayor's Palace to my left, and last but not least, on the right side, the Grand Cathedral.
Tiene ganas de cumbanchar, cuando suena la orquesta empieza a revolear.
Bueno, señora, ¿esta? ¿Así? ¿No le he hecho nada? ¿Mantequilla?
It looks delicious.
I did not try it yet, but it's too warm, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I've arrived in Bogota only days after a landmark presidential election. Workers are still removing decorations from the Parliament building. The new occupant of the presidential palace is a former member of the M19 rebels of the 80s and 90s. But regardless of how they voted, many Colombians say there's something bigger to celebrate. A free and fair presidential election in which not even the long-ruling political party that lost took issue.
Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. Esto hacía 22 años no estaba abierto y sentirme colombiano, bogotano y poder estar acá, poder expresar estas ideas. Bueno, aquí, eso.
Another sign, they say, that the country has moved past the unrest of the last millennium and is marching in a new direction.
I just entered one of Bogota's most narrow alleyways, obviously from the colonial era, which also happens to be one of the city's most bohemian neighborhoods, where the districts of Candelaria and Concordia intersect. In fact, at the head of this alley is a placita that many say is the true original 16th century plaza of Bogota, as opposed to Plaza de Bolivar. If you're looking for a chicheria where you can buy the original corn alcohol drink from pre-Columbian times, that is chicha, this is as good a spot in Bogota as there is to find it. This is the little plaza known as Chorro de Quevedo, the spot where a Spanish conquistador is said to have laid the foundations of Bogota in 1538. As for the Bohemian connection, that didn't become a thing until the mid-20th century when astute businessmen developed the plaza and alleyway as a draw for nearby university students. And that's remained a thing right down till today. In fact, this is a Friday. Tonight and over the weekend, this will be a hopping place. I'm here in the restored colonial mansion in the Candelaria district. That is the Botero Museum, housing the donated works of Fernando Botero, the painter and sculptor widely considered to be among the greatest living Latin American artists. If you're unfamiliar with his work, you may have seen it without recognizing the source. It's wonderfully distinct, featuring subjects that often are, shall we say, exaggeratedly large or heavy, sometimes as a point of criticism and sometimes as a point of humor. There are 83 of his works here, plus the works of a who's who of other artists, also donated by Botero to this museum, including pieces by Marc Chagall, Picasso, Monet, Matisse, Salvador Dali. The list goes on and on. Botero is now 90 and spends only about a month each year in Colombia. He and his wife, the Greek artist Sofia Vari, live in Paris and also have a home in Italy. Admission is free by virtue of one of the only stipulations that the artist attached to his gift of this wonderful art, and that is that no one entering it should ever be charged. Well, I'm here in Rosario Plaza, and I'm debating whether to go try to make it up to Montserrat, the panoramic overview of the city, and I think I'm going to go for it. The reason for the indecision is the weather. If it's socked in up there, you can't see anything, so you play kind of a game with the sun, but I think I have a clue. The street vendors who had their goods on the sidewalk covered just a while ago this morning have uncovered them now. So I grabbed a cab and I'm with my trusted cab driver, Wilman.
Wilmer.
Wilbert.
Wilmer.
Is it very...
Hello? Hello?
He's very sociable, like most people in Bogota, very friendly, a very welcoming place to be. What we're doing is winding our way through the crowded, narrow streets from Candelaria toward the Teleférico, the aerial tramway that will get us to the top of Montserrat. I just alighted from my taxi. I'm here at the foot of the mountain, and I think I have a choice between cable car and a funicular. Yeah, it looks to be at the same spot, so Let's cross over and follow the crowd. Well, your mileage may vary, but in my case, it's taken about 45 minutes in the line after buying the ticket. I have no idea whether that's ordinary or not for midday on a Friday, but it is what it is. But now I'm here, about to board in maybe another 5 minutes. Wait for another one to come back. This is what it looks like, a full car. And as you can see, that one's nearly ready to go. So there may be two more ahead of me, but this should be fun. I didn't get the front row, but it should be great anyway. The sun isn't shining brightly, but at least it's not rainy and boxed in. From up here, you really get a sense of the sprawling nature of this city of 8 million people. This mountain and the one next to it, Guadalupe Hill, are icons of Bogota, and they were icons of the Muisca civilization long before the Spaniards arrived. The Plaza de Bolivar was a Muisca settlement before it became the center of gravity of Bogota. Well, at the June solstice, the sun rises exactly behind Montserrat from the vantage point of that settlement. If you come here and want to get away from the din of people surrounding the tourist encampment, you can take a bit of a hike, just uphill to where there aren't many people. In fact, where I am now, there are more burros than people. It's a nice, peaceful place to walk, as long as you watch your step, if you know what I mean. In the lower part of this complex, there's a beautiful botanical garden and a wonderful walkway with lots of signs indicating the birds one might be expected to see. But I must say today, the birds must be taking a vacation, because I've seen very few. Although I hear them. They're somewhere.
It helps to take an elevated view of a place. Saddled by an outdated reputation that should have been put to rest by now, you get the feeling that people here are a little miffed about that. Then again, they're too busy appreciating the here and now to let it bother them much.